Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for suggesting letting my 17-year-old son get drunk? I, 46M, live with my wife and my 17-year-old son. My wife has been on a different continent for about a month taking care of her dying mother. So it has just been me and my son for that time. My son and I have a very close relationship where he tells me almost everything going on in his life. On Saturday, he told me that he was going to his first ever high school party this upcoming weekend. He was a bit nervous since he had never really drank before, but he knew that he was going to on that occasion. I'm not sure if this is relevant, but this is in Canada where the drinking age is 19, in my province, and teenage drinking is very common. I asked my son if he wanted to have a few beers with me while we watched a sports game that night, as a test run of sorts. My logic was that if he goes into the party with zero awareness of his tolerance, then it could end badly, and it would be best for him to find out his limit in the safety of his home with me. We had some beers over a few hours in the night, and I cut him off at 6. He has had beer in the past, but never more than one at a time. He was pretty drunk, but he was okay, and slept it off. We talked about it the next day, and we agreed that 6 was a bit much for him, and now he knows to have fewer than that at the party. I was actually pretty content with this whole situation, since he had his first experience drinking in a safe environment, and I feel much more comfortable with him going to a party now. However, in an effort to be transparent, I told my wife about it the other day over the phone, and she was livid. She thinks it was reckless and irresponsible. Am I the a-hole? NTA. Sounds like your intention was to teach your son not to binge drink. I'm not saying you're wrong, but doesn't having 6 beers with your teen kind of normalize binge drinking? Isn't 6 a lot? No a-holes here, and honestly, if you have raised a 17-year-old who felt comfortable having that honest conversation with you before going to the party, good for you. You've been doing something right. No a-holes here. It was perfectly responsible to help your son understand the effect alcohol has on him in a safe space. That said, you should have discussed it with your wife beforehand. A lot of people have very strong opinions on alcohol, and her feeling that she was out of the loop is valid. NTA. She thinks it was reckless and irresponsible. Nothing about what you did was irresponsible or reckless. Your son had a few beers at home. He didn't get wasted, and he also didn't throw up or end up in a ditch. You were there with him. Nothing too terrible could have happened. That being said, it might not stop him from getting very drunk at that party, especially if they have stuff other than beer. But at least now he has some experience and knows when he's starting to feel the effects of alcohol. ETA. This is coming from a German though. In Germany the drinking age for beer is 16, so I might be a bit biased. No a-holes here. May vary by state, but kids can legally drink at home with their parent at a lower age than in public. Not running it by wife is dumb, especially framed as a tolerance test. But I think in general, fair idea. Remove the mystique. Gain an understanding appreciation in a safe place. Life antidote. I like in the UK and started going out drinking with a mixed age, 16-40, group from my part-time shop job. When a 16-17-year-old joined the group, they might drink too much or make a mistake, but slowly learned. We kept an eye on them, made sure they got home safely, etc. Some people weren't let out until 18, and suddenly most of the rules would get lifted. They would normally get themselves into trouble or legless every time. When I finished university, I moved and developed a new circle of friends. As I moved through my early 20s, this group fractured. One half had to do pre-drinks and drink themselves to destruction every social situation. The other half would have had just a good time if there was no alcohol. Being frustrated with this group, I once asked them why they didn't get this behavior out of themselves in 6th form. We then learned what divided the group. Everyone who'd gone out at 16-17 also had parents let them try alcohol at home and didn't need alcohol to have fun and could drink in moderation. Everyone protected until 18 still can't drink responsibly even into their 30s. Which leads me to believe the key to good parenting is to ensure your child gains life experiences in a safe, controlled manner. You did this. The fact your wife is upset makes it a solid NTA. Am I the a-hole for spraying water on my creepy neighbor? I'm 16F. I have a 12M brother. The creepy guy next door is a grade above my brother at his school. Neither of us talk to him. He's a creeper. The fence separating our house has several small holes. He uses the holes to spy on me. I have caught him a few times spying on me in my bedroom. I have told my parents about that and they have talked to the neighbors. The creepy guy doesn't admit to spying on us and nothing ever happens. I was in the backyard with my brother yesterday and I noticed him spying on me through one of the fence holes again. I whispered to my brother to turn on the water supply to the hose when I get to the mouth of the hose that is next to the fence separating us. He did and I aimed it over the fence to where the creepy guy is supposed to be. I heard him scream. His mom came over and knocked on our door. Our parents weren't home yet. I told her that his son has been creeping on me again and since his parents won't deal out the punishment, we will. She told us that was super mean of us, but said her kid won't be allowed in the backyard anymore. We thanked her for finally putting an end to this. His mom came over later and told our parents what happened. Our parents yelled at us for spraying water on the creepy neighbor. NTA. You sprayed a peeping Tom with water, not drop an anvil on his damn head. Not sure how your parents could yell at you over this. I have a couple of young girls and hope when they get older they stick up for themselves like you did against creepers. I'd take a video of him watching next time, especially when he tries looking in the bedroom. Bring it to the police. Duck that guy, and his parents, and ARP's parents. NTAOP. WTF. NTA. That is stalking. That kid is a creep. Especially when he is watching you in your bedroom. You had to teach that kid a lesson. But your parents have no right to yell at you for something that the kid has been doing for days, weeks. No way. Your parents are in the wrong. NTA. He wasn't just in his yard and you don't like him so you sprayed him. He wouldn't have been hit with water if he wasn't in the position to be committing a crime, peeping through a privacy fence. NTA. Hearing your version of events, I can't fathom how your parents decided to get mad at you. I'd pick up some tape that's the same color as the fence and cover the holes if they can't be filled in properly. The mom probably told them a different story, but I'd still believe my own children first. Am I the only one thinking she could also get her parents to fix the fence? NTA. But fix your fence. Am I the a-hole for helping my girlfriend's maid clean? I'm visiting my girlfriend's family for the first time and they're kind of rich. They have a maid who comes and tidies up for a bit every day. My family isn't broke, but we've never had people working for us, and it made me super uncomfortable. Like, who am I to have someone serving me and cleaning around me while I sit there? I can't imagine if my mom were witnessing that. She'd flip. So I got up and started to help her tidy up. She thanked me for the help and told me I really didn't have to worry about it. But I told her it was no trouble. It really wasn't. We were just sitting watching TV. Later that night my girlfriend's parents asked me not to help the maid clean because it was a boundary thing and her work was her work and guests are guests. I told them it made me really uncomfortable to have someone clean around me and they just said not to worry because she is paid well and has been with them a long time. The next day it happened again and it made me so uncomfortable I said hey let's go outside to my girlfriend but she was busy on her laptop. So eventually I couldn't help it. I had to jump up and help her out. Her parents walked in and looked pissed and my girlfriend finally clued in and ushered me outside. I'm still so confused by the situation. I'm not sure if I was in the wrong for helping her clean or if I'm in the wrong now for not helping her. My instinct is to help. But when I do people get pissed. So, if you understand the dynamic better than me, please clear this up. Am I the a-hole for helping her clean? AITA, but only in the meaning of I think you shouldn't help the maid. Of course you want an ass for helping. At the end it's the job of the maid to clean. You are interfering with her work. Would you help a guy at McDonald's to put together your burger? Would you help the waitress in a restaurant and bring your dishes back in the kitchen? And you are a guest. If your host doesn't want you to do certain things at their place, then you just shouldn't do it. AITA, she's a maid paid to be a maid, not a damsel in distress. Also, if you duck something up, she'll be the one punished for it. If you help her and she's on her hourly salary, you're reducing her pay. Let professionals do their work. Your attitude is demeaning and I admire her professional and polite way of trying to tell you off. Plus I feel like OP is being judgmental of the family for having a maid and that's unfair. Lots of people have maids to help them keep the house clean and they don't treat them like Cinderella or something. AITA, your girlfriend's family's house isn't yours to clean, no matter how they chose to financially pay for their cleaning, weekly labor payments, automated robot servitude, or individual cost of time installments. Am I the a-hole for laughing at a kid in my nephew's play? Okay, so I have a feeling I know the answer to this one already, but I just want to see from a bigger POV. My nephew is 8. He was starring in his first Christmas play. My sister invited me to it since I was coming to see her that day anyway. We all get in. All the kids in the school are sitting down in front of the stage and all the parents' family are standing at the back. My nephew was playing as a reindeer. Everyone in his class has an equal role. About 2-3 lines worth of stuff to say. My nephew was brilliant. Nailed his lines. He really looked like he enjoyed himself. So then we just had to stand and wait for all the other kids to have their parts and then we get to congratulate the kids after. This one girl, same age as my nephew, was playing Mrs. Claus. She was visibly nervous and shaky. It came off more cute than awkward. As she was saying her lines, she got a bit flustered and forgot to part. She got a little stuck on it and there was silence for about 4 seconds. Then all of a sudden, the girl just said, "Oh duck, I forgot." There were a few gasps among the parents. All the kids were sniggering, but I just lost it. I don't know what it is about young kids swearing, but I found it hilarious. I was snort laughing and many people turned around to look at me. I tried to take myself out of the hall and try to compose myself, but I got to the door and I just ended up falling over and laughing harder. I was wheezing. My stomach hurt and I just couldn't contain myself. I'm a 30-year-old man and this was my defeat. The doors are just glass doors, so I crawled out to the hallway just outside of the main stage hall, but you can clearly still see me through the door and I'm assuming you could still hear me. I took myself to the toilet, splashed some water on my face and returned to the hall. Some parents and kids kept looking at me and giggling. Understandably so. After the play finished, I congratulated my nephew, said how good he did, and then I saw the little girl who swore and her mum. I went over to apologize for laughing. The daughter seemed absolutely fine. She was just happy that she was on stage, but the mum was very annoyed with me. I said sorry to her and the mum said something along the lines of, "Remember where you are. It's very immature to laugh at children," and took her daughter away. My sister said not to worry about it. The mum is a bit of a fun sponge anyway, but I feel a bit bad about what happened. NTA. The mother is an a-hole for misreading the situation. She knows the rest of the room will assume the kid picked it up from her and she's embarrassed by that, when she should be proud. The mum's probably just embarrassed. After all, where did that kid learn to swear like that? AITA, but not a big one. It's totally fine that you laughed. I would have chuckled. Kids cursing is hilarious, but you should have at least tried to keep your composure. Seems like you made a huge scene. Edit. For those asking, yes, I've had the giggles and uncontrollable laughter, but I'd be the a-hole if I disrupted a performance because of it. I get that it's unintentional, and he didn't mean to lose control, but that doesn't make it any less inconsiderate and distracting. OP isn't a bad person at all. Shit happens. Just gotta acknowledge that his overreaction was rude. NTA. That shit's hilarious. The mother was clearly just embarrassed. You weren't laughing at the kid. You were laughing at the scenario of a kid using adult language. It's funny. No a-holes here. You must have had a pretty stressful year though, because this sounds like some pretty intense catharsis. Every year is a stressful year. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.